Issues. Important thing about the market, still 7-week low, but Apple just briefly went positive. Tech is rallying a bit here, but it's still a problem with tech down and banks down. So look at the sectors that we've got here. Another weekday for the banks. Of course, got issues going on in Europe. Materials, industrials, also weak. This is partly the reopening story. Tech's doing a little bit better. As I mentioned, Apple went positive. Banks, of course, we've got those issues over in Europe with that suspicious trading activity story. It's not clear how many, if any, it really impacts, but HSBC has been down, Societe Generale. JP Morgan, again, not clear how much this really should impact any of these U.S. banks, but again, you see them to the downside here. Travel and leisure has been rolling over for a week, essentially, and that's happening again today because the reopening story is getting a little murkier. And if you look at what's moving the markets, we used to talk about this, the 5 or 6 buckets that moves the markets a couple months ago. I haven't put it up recently, but it bears looking at right now. The only thing still positive here is the treatment and vaccine, where there are advances, as you hear every day. But on the stimulus issue, of course, they're not so clear. The fiscal negotiations haven't made a lot of progress. The Fed really didn't appease the doves that much last week on quantitative easing here. Reopening, the European lockdown fears, a very real, ugly day over in Europe. And China, of course, rising trade tensions that we've seen. On the markets, the two big issues, of course, we talk about all the time is valuation and earnings. Generally, tech overvalued for the moment. Earnings are improving. The third quarter numbers are going up, not down, and that is a overall positive for the market. So a lot of mixed messages, but still some more negatives than positives. And the elections, of course, also making things a lot more complicated. As far as technical issues, and yes, technical matters, to the extent the market's dominated by momentum, technical matters. The S&P and the NASDAQ are below their 50-day moving average. That's the first time for the S&P since April. That happened on Friday. And, of course, the week after the September quadruple witch is among the weakest of the year. It's normally down about 1.5%. That's happening again here. So these technical issues are also weighing on the market. I think the big problem is how do you get the market to rally with technology and banks this week? Here's two of the biggest sectors that are out there. The S&P is down 7% for the month, but tech's down 11%. Banks are down 6%. Healthcare, another important sector, is down 5%. You can't rally the market on industrials and materials. I'm sorry, they're just not big enough. So we need tech to do better. Carl, we need banks to do a little bit better. At least you're getting Apple trying to stay positive for the day, and that's at least the one positive we're seeing right now. Carl, back to you.